BREXIT shock, Britain to be hit with astronomical £521 million bill to relocate EU agency. Britain is set to be slapped with a mammoth £500 million bill to cover the cost of relocating a major EU agency from London to the continent, EU Parliament sources revealed tonight. Bureaucrats have estimated the cost of moving the European Medicines Agency, EMA, out of the UK at a staggering £521 million, which is a massive £163 million above their initial estimate. British MEP told Express.co.uk the government must resist any attempt by Brussels to make UK taxpayers pick up the tab for the move, which is so astronomically high because of blunders by EU officials. In a separate report, also seen by this website, it emerged the EU is facing another blow after being told the European Banking Authority, EBA, may have to stay in the UK for more than a year after Brexit. Officials have advised that the financial regulator should remain at its London headquarters until at least mid-2020 to avoid incurring punitive relocation costs that would blow a hole in the EU budget. In their position papers, bureaucrats have made clear they expect Britain to cover the cost of moving both agencies independently of any divorce bill that will be imposed over Brexit. But UK officials are likely to strongly contest such a payout, given that they are already staring down the barrel of a huge financial settlement which could reach a staggering £90 billion. The EMA has calculated the cost of moving its operations and staff, and paying off the remainder of a locked-in lease that runs until June 2039, at more than £500 million. Officials previously estimated it would run to £358 million. This figure includes £401 million to pay off the rest of the lease, £34 million to kit out its new home, £47.4 million for relocating the agency's 890-strong workforce, and £21.7 million on IT and audiovisual equipment and meeting rooms. However, there is a possibility that number could be slashed somewhat given the embarrassing revelation for Brussels that 3/4 of its workers may refuse to leave London. UKIP MEP Ray Finch said, "What spectacular financial incompetence on display here by this EU agency. Just imagine the stupidity of signing a 25-year lease without an escape clause. It beggars belief. Great Britain leaving the financial incontinent EU means that our taxpayer-funded money tree will no longer be available for these EU officials to pluck any longer. Like Hotel California, the EU is finding with this lease that it's free in, but they've got to pay to leave." Meanwhile, officials say the EBA should prove significantly cheaper to move, especially if it stays in London until mid-2020, which would shave a further £16 million off the final bill. In an internal memo, seen by Express.co.uk, senior bureaucrats highlight that the regulator has a break clause in its 12-year rental agreement which will allow it to move at that point without having to pay off the rest of the contract. They recommend, given the relative importance of this cost, in terms of cost mitigation it is most cost-efficient for the EBA to remain in London as late into 2020 as possible, so as to minimise the length of time for which the EBA is liable for office costs for two locations. A later relocation would give the EBA more time to plan and prepare the relocation, which should enable better cost management. Express.co.uk understands that British MEP offered bureaucrats an olive branch by suggesting the two agencies could remain in the UK for a transitional period after Brexit whilst they sought out relocation, but were met with stony silence. A source added, "We are not unreasonable. If the EU needed more time to relocate these agencies from the UK, I'm sure we could happily accommodate them to remain in the UK even after Brexit." The prospect of leaving the agency in the UK for more than a year after Britain has formally left the bloc will rankle with member states who want to see it prized away from London as soon as possible. Today a massive beauty pageant to become the next home of the two agencies got underway across Europe, with 23 cities courting the EMA and a further 8 vying to take on the banking regulator. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and don't forget to subscribe English News Hub for new excited videos.